I'm Bill Hart. Been in Dauphin for most of my life. Moved here in 1959 with a young family. Entered into the profession of social work, where I spent 35 years with Manitoba Child and Family Services. Been involved in the community to a large extent through many of those years. Several years since I left the Child and Family Service Agency. So that's been another dimension of my life that's been quite enriching, is working with different organizations and volunteerism in Dauphin. Well, since I've written a book, it's sort of an autobiography. In the book, I talk about why Dauphin? Why did I come to Dauphin? I grew up on a farm in Saskatchewan, and I'd lived in a few cities. Decided that I didn't like city life, but didn't really want to live in a small village or town. So an opportunity came to move to Dauphin, which I saw as sort of a medium-sized community. It had a number of amenities, and yet not too small town. Just the right fit, if you will. And so we found it to be a place that was receptive to people moving here, and also it was a good place to raise our family. With regards to the Community Foundation, I've been involved pretty much since it was chartered as a foundation in Dauphin. It became known as the Dauphin District Community Foundation. My initial involvement was on the Grants Committee, which was a separate body of appointed people from the community that overlooked the whole granting of and recommending of grants to the community. So I spent about 3 years on the Grants Committee, and then I was asked to serve on the board of directors. And so that was the next move for me. It was almost seamless. I don't believe there was a gap there. I just moved right on to the board. And I spent, in total, approximately 15 years in serving the Community Foundation. And I have to say, it's one of the best experiences I've had with a group, simply because the purpose of it is so noble, in the sense that it is there to serve the community, it's there to build the community, it's there to help people, both individuals and organizations. And so I've seen it really impact our community in a very significant way. Hence, I believe that there's been a real trust that's built up over the years from our community towards the foundation. It's administered with integrity and proficiency, and I think people have come to trust the Community Foundation with their money or their donations, and we have taken that trust very seriously in terms of how we manage the funds and how we also grant to various organizations and individuals in the community. There are a few good memories for me in terms of grants, I suppose, that outstand are more outstanding than others. We don't grant money for operations. I think that's something to make clear. We grant money to those who need equipment or some type of facility or capital improvement in their organization. And most of these organizations are nonprofit or charitable organizations. One of the things that has really thrilled me is, over the years, we have granted money to our Dauphin Ochre Band Parents Association, and because I'm a music buff, particularly a jazz buff, I find that buying instruments for our community youth in the band program in our schools has been a real blessing, I think, and it's been great to see students undertake their music career and make use of these instruments that we have provided. Notwithstanding that, there are those small grants. I remember the first time that we had about $400 to grant. I think it was the first year in about 1996 or 97. We had about $400 to grant that year. And we bought a lifeline machine for someone who was shut in and handicapped. And that was such a godsend for this person. It just seemed to be just exactly what they needed, and would not have otherwise been able to afford it. Overall, I think we've just had a broad brush of granting opportunities, and there's such a diversity of need out there, and it's just been great to see that money poured into the community and invested into really good projects, because there are many organizations that are doing great work in Dauphin. The foundation in its granting procedures has always been sensitive to such a diversity of needs, and those needs are all the way from people needing $200 or $300 to those that are needing probably $25,000 to $50,000 or more. And I like to see a balance struck in terms of how that is awarded. We have just come through some major projects in Dauphin, and the skate park being one of them. And the foundation was a big supporter of that. And since I was a member of the skate park committee, I was so grateful that the foundation was able to provide funds for completion of the skate park. I see some other projects that are rather what you would call big dollar projects. One being the Art Center, which is close to my heart since I was involved in its inception as the Watson Art Center. But they're into a major program of renovation and upgrades to their building, and I think that that's a focus that I would like to see brought up for the foundation to consider. Also, Parkland Crossing, because they provide such a diversity of services to marginalized people and just meet a lot of needs that are not met otherwise in the community, including low-cost housing. They are also in the process of upgrading and renovating their buildings to make them more revenue productive. And then there's the rec center, understanding that there's a major fundraising drive for replacing the water slide, those kinds of things. Those are the ones that come to mind in terms of big dollar items. Now, I say that with the proviso that, yes, the smaller grants are important and always will be, but perhaps some consideration can be given to a larger amount for those other organizations that I've mentioned. I would like to encourage people, while we have a number of donors and every amount that's given to the foundation is appreciated, whether it's $25, $2,500, or $25,000, I would like to emphasize that folks, when they're considering their estates and they're planning their wills, that they include the foundation. Because every dollar that's left to the foundation is invested, it's capital money, it's capital investment, and it's never spent. Only the interest is used. So it's a gift that actually, as the slogan goes, keeps on giving. On and on and on. And I think that that's what's enriching about the foundation principle, is because you don't see things diminish in terms of market conditions or investment vagaries and those kinds of things. It just keeps building. Of course, investments are subject to market conditions, but capital is not lost in that whole process. So I would like to encourage those out there who are watching this to really give serious consideration to leaving a legacy to the foundation, because you can have a named fund. There are many options that you can discuss with the office. You can set up a fund that will be granting money in your name or the name of your children or whatever to a specific cause. There are so many options to explore, but that's, to me, a notion of leaving a legacy that will prevail indefinitely.